Don't start over. Starting older. Kept years, kept scars, kept lessons. Not late, not lost, nothing wasted, nothing random. Older, steadier, clearer, now more than ever. Breakfast with benefits.
Welcome to Breakfast with Benefits. This is Julia.
This is Krista.
This is Beza.
Today's episode is for every woman who has ever asked herself, is it too late to start again?
Oh,
Our guest.
We're starting.
Yeah, our guest, Yrmis Barroeta, has reinvented herself so many times that she's practically a blueprint for creative evolution.
Amazing.
Well,
Love that intro.
let me continue. There's more.
So
She started
cool.
in fashion, moved into social impact, launched a food company, built community around wellness, and now she's a co-founder of a groundbreaking digital twin startup using AI and personalized biology to transform health. Amazing,
wow.
right? Yrmis' life is an example of what happens when you stop trying to reinvent yourself from scratch and instead build from your essence, your lived experience, your body's history, and the wisdom you've earned. So we're so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is also, we are face to face. This is not Zoom. We see her flesh. I can even touch her right now. We're having our coffees. We offered her some gluten things. Of course, she said, are you guys crazy? Don't you remember why you guys invited me? How many years?
I thought I was doing a big favor.
2009, I quit gluten, I quit alcohol.
The person that everybody quit gluten on and off, right?
On
But
and off.
This is the longest and steady person I ever met. I'm very impressed.
And I really don't cheat. I don't have a cheat day.
Amazing.
I go for it. And everything is possible. And if I compare life back then, when you would go to a restaurant and people would be like rolling up their eyes and be like, what? You need, what's gluten? So it's easy now.
I remember 10 years ago, there was even a movement that people who really were tolerant for gluten started to do this, and that it became like a fashion motif. Like people were talking about it. Yeah, I'm gluten-free, but they didn't really understand. They were doing it. It's a popular thing.
I think that actually hurt the whole movement of the people that really needed it at that time.
Yeah.
Because people were not understanding. So they were like, a little bit, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, a little bit does matter.
No. Yeah.
Some men are so angry still about it. They want gluten in it. Make sure I have gluten in this. This is my husband.
Can you share a little bit your journey with us?
I come from Venezuela, but my father was in cattle ranching. So I grew up going to the flatlands of Venezuela and being surrounded by anacondas and fishing piranhas for lunch. I grew up with capybaras, which is the largest rodent in the world.
Yeah.
So not
they're
eating them.
Eating them too.
Eating
Yeah, we can actually eat them during Lent because they're considered fish because they procreate in water. So
Wow.
the church allows them to be eating Lent. It's the best meat you'll ever have.
You're
especially-
kidding me right now.
No,
Really?
I'm not. Especially if it's prepared by my mom. It's so good. We call it chiguire in Venezuela, not capybara.
Was it like a
Like a
stew?
deal. No, it's actually like a pulled
Pork.
beef,
Mhm.
but
Pulled
it's a
capybara.
mix between like a dark chicken.
Who would have thought? Oh my God. I
Yeah.
eat everything also in life, but I will be careful with rodents when I see
And
I grew up eating iguana eggs and Galapagos, like Galapagos soup and all sort of stuff.
I actually heard a funny story when I moved to Miami about that. When the weather changes in Miami and it becomes cold, the geckos
days
and
in a year.
hibernate, right?
yeah,
For
they
the cold
freeze.
weather. They freeze, and then some guy from South America collected them in Key Biscayne, put them in his car because they cut them open, take out the eggs, harvest the eggs, right,
Oh,
to
God.
eat, and then they sew them back together, and then they release them so they will not kill them. But this this guy put them in his car and put the heating in the car, and they all started to wake up and to climb all over, and he freaked out and he let them out. How does the taste? do you think?
Amazing.
Iguanas? Amazing?
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think anybody beats me in the context of what have you eaten. That's the weirdest thing. So I grew up like that, and I grew up very wild, which is a surprise when people see me, right? And free and unafraid and with incredible amount of wildlife. So that's how I grew up. And that's where I started realizing that there was a problem with supporting wildlife. Like the whole cattle ranching operation by itself couldn't really support that by itself. So I was on my way to New York after graduating from economics in Venezuela. I worked the corporate a little bit, a couple of years. I worked at a bank and I worked at BP Oil, and that was not for me. I decided to go to New York to study fashion, but also create a conservation NGO or non-for-profit organization. And that went well until September 11th came and happened. And then all the funds just went, wildlife, Venezuela was not that important anymore. So I focused on fashion. But then that was the beginning of me understanding that my trajectory has been around spotting a problem and knowing that I can create a company or an endeavor to solve it. When you said I've reinvented myself, we talked about it briefly before, I always tell people reinventing is very overwhelming. It sounds like you have to change everything that you
Start
know.
everything from scratch.
Start from scratch, and that's not what I've done.
Yeah.
I feel
It's scary, right?
It's scary.
Yeah, intimidating almost. Yeah.
Totally. I've been in wildlife conservation. I've been in fashion, in food, now in health tech. And if you tell me I need to reinvent myself, I would freak out. It's like, what? After what? When I tell my trajectory, I say, yes, it's not linear. So it's very hard for people to say, what's the thread? What's the why? I've seen a problem dear to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go solve it. So I wanted fashion. And I think it's a thing from coming from Venezuela and rebellious from the wildlife that I'm like, I want to go to New York
And
study
curious,
fashion.
very curious.
Very
if you're
curious.
living among nature and all
Yes.
the wildlife, you're
Yes.
very curious about
Yes.
everything.
I grew up with a bag made out of fish leather or gloves made out of capybara leather. So thinking of, okay, what could be sustainable? And even though that might sound like an oxymoron because it's, okay, it's come from animals, how's that sustainable? When you do it with leftovers, it becomes sustainable. I went to fashion, and in fashion, I started a clothing line. I started seeing that I had a problem that pants would not fit me. Of course, I'm Latina. My size and the top is smaller than the hips. And I started seeing that a lot of people had that problem. So I came up with a way of pattern making, like inspiring the cone for ring sizing. If you see a cone and you just put a ring on the cone, it falls, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said, okay, the pants should be like the same. We're like a cone. And
Makes
the pants
sense.
should fit, right? Fall. Whatever your curves match the pant. Right?
That's
and there's
brilliant.
of course. And there's like a vertical that's maybe an inch or two of variation, right? That maybe fits a little bit lower, maybe
What
a little
Turkish
bit higher.
woman has a shape of pear?
Exactly.
Prefer upside down pear.
Miami.
Yes, it's such a great idea, Ez.
Yeah.
Right? So it fits where it has to, it's meant to fit, right? It matches. And I went to the buyers of these stores, and I walked into this store in LA, in Santa Monica, that was very fashionable and called Madison. And the buyer was so hard to talk to. And I walked into the store, and a mirror in the back. You would never imagine that was her office. Shut open, and she's screaming, "The pant lady, pant lady." So I go like, "The pant lady."
What?
She goes, "I don't want to see anything else, just the pants that you have in this collection, because your pants fit so well. We know that if any girl grabs that pant and goes to the fitting room, we sold the pant."
I want one. I got scared first. Why she's that?
She was yelling. I'm like, wow. Really, that was the pivoting moment for my line where I said, well, if I'm really solving a solution, if there's so many pens that I can do, I approach these from a very business point of view. And I'm an economist, and that's what I do. I don't see it from the artist part of it. When you have a business company, you really maybe are creating 10% of your time if you're lucky. So
You're lucky to have the business mind.
Yeah.
Can you give us your business mind?
this was in 2004. Everybody needs pens. Every woman needs pens.
And did you have any sustainability objective with that?
Yeah, that's why I closed. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Sorry, I jumped out.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was so happy I'm going to get those pens. We are not getting those pens.
That's so funny. No, actually, so the school invited me to write the curriculum. They're like, can
Parsons,
you,
right?
yes, can you write the business curriculum? And I closed everything for 3 days and I locked myself in, send the curriculum. You cannot send just anything to Parsons,
No,
right? It's
yeah.
no, you have to like really focus, really think what you're doing. And she calls me a week after and she's like, can you come? We want to discuss this thing that you sent. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. They're going to drill me and kill me. I go there and there's 3 people. They're like, we love this. Can you teach it?
Oh,
And I go, what? So we started with a class and then I grew to 3 classes per trimester. And then I got voted Teacher of the Year. It became amazing because I feel the one that was learning the most was me from every student. It was an incredible journey. I did that for 5 years in parallel to the store and the pants and everything happening. And then I had an investor that approached us. At that time, I had a business partner for the store because we opened a store in Soho in New York. And so that was part of the evolution of the brand. And I went to his office and saw how he was treating his team. So horrible. And I went back to my office and I said, how am I going to feel when you are in this same chair and you've taken this concept from 0 to A, from A to B? And I was totally empty. Like I have no purpose. This is like just, okay, I'm here for more. And I decided to close.
Meaning, sorry to interrupt, meaning you felt like you were not helping with,
The solution.
with, like you said,
I just felt I was just putting pants in the landfill.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
you lost your
Totally.
desire. You created something. You solved the problem,
Yes.
and then the next step was what?
what?
Yeah.
So it was against what you were thinking about. I forgot the word. Sustainability. Is that why? Or something else?
No, but I wanted more. So I closed and went to an amazing conference for entrepreneur. I got invited called Summit Series. And in there, I met my partner. He became the father of my son, my business partner. We're not together anymore, but we parent really well. And he was going through a similar situation, like selling his company, looking for a purpose. So we started traveling, helping NGOs understand the capacity of their community and create products so they could sell them and have a channel of revenue. We started working with them and we started working with Comforted Children International, which ended up with products in Whole Foods. And at that time, Invisible Children, which started a line called Mend. It was amazing. And then in that trip, I realized that this man was sick the entire time. I'm like, why is he sick? Everywhere we go, stomach ache, bended in pain. And we realized he was celiac. I called a friend and who's in wellness, and he said, I'm going to recommend you this book. And if you don't read it, don't call me back. And I did. I read the book. In 3 days, I'm like asking him, like, I think we need to try gluten.
What's the name of the book? Do you remember?
The book was Rob Wolf, The Paleo Solution. And I'm like,
That's
that
paleo.
was such a bad name, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is this? And gluten. I had to figure this out, but it was worth trying. We've tried everything and nothing worked. And we did. And in 3 days later, he was perfect. The change in his body, in his cognitive performance.
In just 3 days?
In 3 days.
Oh,
When
wow.
you're a real celiac, not a fashionable one, your body knows when you stop it. And we ended up learning so much right? We ended up discovering cassava noodles in Vietnam, read about the cake in Brazil.
Yeah.
And then the cassava crackers in Venezuela. I forgot we had that. And
That's something new that I discovered here in Miami.
Oh
So
my God.
amazing.
I have
Yeah.
the best one.
Yes.
Should have brought you. I'll bring you a package. It's so good. So we decided to come back to California in the Bay Area and open missionary room. We said, okay, let's make this
That was a
easy.
cafe.
That was a
This
cafe. It was started as a cafe, and we had not only, I wanted the convenience. I wanted to solve a problem for women like me.
What were your symptoms back then?
Well, I was severely overweight. Was pre-diabetic, and I would swollen like my fingers, and I would have like arthritis pain,
Joint
and
problems.
joint
Yeah.
problems, right? And I'm like, okay, why am I too, right? We started checking with him and doing a whole bunch of round of tests and meeting incredible functional medicine doctors and scientists that help us and support us to figure this out on our own. And we took our health in our hands and we started testing. So I realized that I had early autoimmunes for my adrenal glands, which is Addison disease. That is popular. And as you guys know, like most of women are the ones that suffer first for autoimmune disease.
Yes.
But
Yeah, we all have it, I think. 3 of us.
there's like
Yeah.
over 80 autoimmune diseases.
When I read in your Instagram page, I'm like, I feel terrible. 25 years of eating organic, 20 years of prioritizing restorative sleep. So you sleep since 20 years?
She's sleeping beauty.
No, because we have an episode, we don't sleep. Like, we can't sleep. Like, sleep is over in our lives. So, 15 years of sleep. 15, I found it. 15 years of gluten-free, 15 years no pasta.
No,
there's
not
yes,
wheat
there are-
pasta.
there
Other
are
kinds of
they're
pasta.
amazing.
You always give me
pasta.
bread when I come to your house.
Italians are leading the gluten-free movement with
Yes.
pasta. Oh,
Then
yeah.
after they gave us
Italians do it better.
15 years off, no alcohol.
Yeah.
This is my department. So
Yeah. In 2024, I had a couple of glasses of champagne.
okay.
And
Okay.
very funny because I went to the doctor. So let's talk about your alcohol intake. So in October last year, not this one, but last October I had champagne. Wait a
Talking about-
minute. You're talking like October last year. And you can count with your hands. And you remember.
You even count them. Okay, guys, I probably.
What is this? It's just,
I don't
oh my
want to
God.
count you my last week, even.
It's okay. You know what? One of the most amazing things that I will never forget is Chris Gresser. He's one of my favorite functional medicine doctors. He came to do a book launch and someone asked him like, hey, how are you going to do with Sylvie, who was like 3, his daughter? And when she goes to school and start having school parties.
Yeah. Pizza.
Right?
Cakes.
And he said something so
Beer.
interesting. And he said, I'm ready for that. And she's ready for that. Not only like she understands, right, the effect of inflammatory foods in her body, but resilience is not when we eat something and we feel terrible. Resilience is when the accumulative effect is so strong that you can handle aggressors. Do not get sick or pain or shut down because of that. And your body can't handle that. That should be our goal. And I was like, wow, your body can't handle that. You're in trouble.
Yeah. And
Right.
in your case, what do you not eat? Or how did you, for example, you had some milk in your coffee. How did you find out that what were the things that worked for you and what were the things that
Yeah,
did
you
not
were
work for you?
saying
Are you still
anti-inflammatory
figuring them out? Are there things that maybe you didn't know you had allergy to?
I think I have it very figured out by now
Mhm.
because my journey in health started in 2009. But that said, you never know. You never know. Well, at this point, I have my genetics with like continuing updating because that updates. We learn about our genes every day. I have tons and tons of tests. Ultimately, I follow my body. At this point, when I eat something that's inflammatory and doesn't suit me well, I'm going to know it. And I respect that. For me, the feedback loop of your body is crucial.
Yeah. And alcohol is included in this. Like you figured that you have some kind of intolerance to alcohol or you don't like the effects of alcohol in your system.
Alcohol have layers and layers. First, the big thing that we have to make peace with alcohol is that we don't socialize more or less because of alcohol. That was a big switch. Number 2, alcohol affects your brain. If you want to take a look at
That's why. That's why. Okay.
it really affects your cognitive performance.
Perfect. Yes.
And sugar. There's so much
Oh,
sugar
yes, of
in
course.
it.
Sugar
Yeah.
is a big one.
Yeah.
Alcohol turns into sugar.
Yeah, that's what I
right?
meant. Alcohol. Sugar.
Sulfites in alcohol is a big deal. But interestingly, I know that I can have a hardcore scotch and I tolerate it much better than if I drink, for example, white wine. White wine is my worst offender. If I go to a restaurant and I just have a random bottle, I don't know, doomed. The next day I get severe bathroom runs, swelling in my fingers, my joint pain. And when we had Mission Heirloom, we're working with dry farm wines. They're still running. And this is a company, they do like thorough testing of the wine so that it's healthier, better, cleaner, no salt.
No sulfites, yeah.
Totally. So if you guys...
That's a very common thing, right? When you get older, you cannot tolerate red wine. And your favorite thing was red wine before and nothing was happening. This is typical. I'm not the only... Every woman says that. The ingredients in it.
Yeah, it's very different.
I'm sure it's like a pasta you were saying from Italy.
Or just the way that they use pesticide in Europe versus the US, that comes down to that. But I very much agree. I have an autoimmune issue. And as you age and you listen to your body, you kind of know a lot of things that this is okay for me. No, this is not okay.
For me, I reach a point where nothing tastes like healthy feels. No, it's just not a bargain for me anymore. If you're going to start a gluten-free diet, stay away from the aisle of the gluten-free food because it has so many chemicals that it's just bad for you anyway.
And the oils.
Oh, the oils don't even get me.
Yeah.
When people ask me, like, 3 things to do for health, what were they? I would say sleep really well, skip every seed oil, period, and drop sugar. And people can't believe that those are my 3. No, I don't go to gluten.
So you're saying you're not also, since how many years, 10 years, also skincare, like a toxic skincare as well?
Dude, I'm ready for Botox. I said that when I was 49, turning 50. I think I'm trying to make peace with aging gracefully because we do see it. We do feel it. It's there. It's coming. And I think the alternative is dying. But I also see so many women deforming themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Reacting to... I'm like, I lose my expression and my...
It's like they're totally a new person. Like it's a new identity.
Yeah, totally. I'm not ready for that.
No.
So yeah, I do pay attention a lot with what I put in my body because your skin is the biggest organ that we have, the most neglected. We put anything on our bodies, that's a big no for me.
Going back on your journey, I think we stopped kind of at
Mission
Heirloom. And then from there, community started being built around the cafe, right?
Mission Heirloom was insane because it was the first restaurant gluten-free, grain-free, chemical-free. Everything was made from scratch. Everything was like searched to the source. Like the chick came from this farm guy and I would go to the farm and make sure.
Yeah.
So we went all the way in. The Café grew. One of the biggest success that I was saying is that we don't only have the restaurant, but we had a store in the front of the restaurant. And we used to joke, it's like exit through the gift shop, like in Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Really good. Yes. The idea was like, okay, if you go to the patio, you like the food, you can take the food made
At
for
home.
home for the next week. And then we got called by Fresh, the delivery from Whole Foods.
From Whole Foods.
And we were in their first 10 beta testers in California. So we ended up delivering food across the state. So it allowed us to grow. We packed the cassava crackers and branded for the American market to understand, which was the Yukon Crunch. Because it's made out of the yucca root,
Yeah.
so you can crunch. And
What a fun name.
yeah, and so we packaged it and taught people how to toast it, and we beat record. We sold all the distributors of Latin America for their year inventory in 3 months in Amazon.
Wow.
And they
Wow.
couldn't produce fast enough. But I got pregnant. I was diagnosed with endometriosis grade 4. I was told, like, you probably will not have kids. Suddenly, there I am right? Like with tender breast. And I'm telling my partner, like, I think I have breast cancer.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going to go to the doctor. And I said, I think I have breast cancer. And she goes, okay, let's do a blood test. Stay here. She speeds up the result. She comes back and she's like, I have 2 news for you. First, you don't have cancer. Second, you're pregnant. And I'm like, how?
What a miracle.
They
How?
told me something else.
How? And she goes, I hope you know who. I know who, but I don't know how. So we're having these lost in translation funny moment. And I was 10 weeks pregnant. And I'm like, what? I feel like a virgin from a little town that just don't know that it was pregnant. So I came back home to my partner and said, we're selling missionaries. I want to be a mom because I never consider being a mom, and I was 42. So
I was just about to ask you that. 42.
42.
Bravo.
This journey ends here, where my body got so healed that I'm pregnant.
Yeah,
and I'm going to
wow.
celebrate that. We got a couple of offers. Like we sold it in 2018. And still, it was way too ahead of the game for anybody to be able to run it at the depth and the
Commitment.
detail and the commitment that we had.
It's really.
But recently, just before Thanksgiving, I went to Eudaimonia. Have you guys come across Eudaimonia? It's second year of
It's a
health
conference that we were talking about.
Oh, hold
yes,
on. That
yeah,
one?
Yeah.
They spirit all the guys.
Yeah,
That was
Deepak
there.
Chopra was supposed to be
Huberman
there.
and everyone.
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah.
Hyman.
There
Should I say something about that or no? Okay,
I don't
You
know.
can say anything. They're doing a great job, and they're bringing in. It's the only place where I'm seeing peace between PhDs from Harvard and all the Boston PhD mafia of science with the crazy biohackers, and they mingle together. And that's really interesting to see.
Yes.
And they all became
Very.
rich now. And
No,
they
my
are
one,
doctors
okay.
and
My joke was not joke. We were gonna do, maybe we're still gonna do an episode about it because we wanted to go there because we are all into it.
You should go. Yes.
$1,500 per
It's
person.
so worth it.
Not
It's
gonna
so
be that.
worth it.
We like, what? We're gonna pay all of us $4,000 for? Nah, we're like,
Totally worth it.
oh,
Totally worth it.
okay.
You know, and
By the way, seeing them live and talking it's our celebrity.
different-
It's now for us the Beyonce. I don't want them. It's not my favorite, but the famous celebrities to see them talking. Actually,
I took CMEs, which is continual medical education panels, like in classes. They go in deep, and the exposome is amazing because this is like this massive area where they bring in every single company that they can showcase, set up a booth, and then you can try and test all these products, and it's so much fun.
but for you, it's also the heaven. Like you are in your heaven because you are in the industry. This is your
now-
big interest.
You're in a new endeavor as well. And
Yeah.
I think you have to be part of this movement,
yes,
right?
it's
I go for 2 reasons. I went last year and I was not involved with Jamela, and I went for personal health journey, right? You guys asked me, do you continue to figure it out? What we're seeing in biology, my co-founder friend, Jamela, she's one of the most amazing scientists ever. I so recommend her TED Talk. She was the one to replicate the brain barrier for the first time with human cells on a silicon chip. Her technology, it's at the lunar station. We were talking probably March, and she was saying, what I've seen in terms of progress and advancements and in biology in the last 20 years is nothing in comparison to what I'm seeing in the last few months. What we're seeing, like skin creams, face creams are not the same anymore. Like you go and learn about exosomes and peptides, and you go and learn about. There's also a very interesting thing that's happening right now. The data is finally catching up. Like we are at that moment where scientists said, yeah, biohackers are crazy in the head. We would never dare to do those crazy things. Most of the time, they're not scientifically based, but they were into something. And we're studying and we're just discovering. And that's where I say this merge. I took my 8-year-old with me,
oh.
sat through the panels. and he loved it.
What an amazing experience. Yeah.
It's forever. They'll kill me if they hear me say that because they are like, please, no kids. And my kid was the only kid around. But the experience is so enriching for anybody, whether it is for my 8-year-old son and it is for me from the personal perspective of like, how do I continue and how do I improve my own personal health journey versus, okay, this is like good for Gemela or whatever endeavor that I'm doing.
To open up his mind that this is there today, how much prevention at 8 years old he will learn going forward such a young age. It's like better than school.
Totally. He wakes up like,
than
we need to get the alertness up in our brains and do the 3. It's like a really short exercise that this doctor said you should do every day morning. So you wake up your cognitive performance. And then he goes, and now we have to hug we get an oxytocin dosage. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, how about naps? Do you take naps during the day? I thought about that when you said hugs. I'm like, it's so Spanish and like the Spanish culture and everything. And I've seen some people talk about this.
Naps.
Isn't it said to be super good for your health as well?
15 minutes of naps.
The thing is that I can't nap for 15 minutes. I'm going to sleep the whole 2 hours.
Yes,
and then I'm going to wake up like, oh
No. So it's for just a
It's
few
the whole
people.
day or everything passed by. There is 10,000 calls on the phone.
Dude,
Like,
my dad naps and I'll come back in 15 minutes.
I nap
I can't.
sometimes.
I
I
do
can do
too.
20 minutes and it's really rejuvenating.
is it scientifically proven now? Is it in our data now?
But like she said, if it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you.
But
it
a
depends on...
psychologist told me one day, she said, after 40, if you have a chance, take a cat nap.
I don't know. I think it'll be case by case. I don't know the data. I don't like to talk and give an opinion. I tell my mom, no one is entitled to an opinion when it comes to health.
Yes.
She's like, what? I'm like, no, we have to stick to
It has to be
science.
science-based.
And we have to stick to your specific case
Yeah.
because it's going to be so different.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So I don't like to have opinions on that. But what science is definitely established is that we need to sleep well through the night and
My subject
deep.
Deep
And
make- REM.
and
very
make sure
important.
that we do anything that's on a reach to sleep very well. And it's hard. I'm a night owl. I work, it's 10 and I'm like, whoa, productive. And
You're
I would
ready
go
to
to
dance
bed.
and party. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love working at night. And it's like really huge effort to say, okay, I'm going to sleep by 10:30 and I'm going to wake up and stay in bed if I need to and try to fall asleep again. But I'm going to sleep my at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
And it's
Important.
It's really important. I feel like we're missing Gemela. Can you explain to us what this endeavor is and the digital twin idea?
Mela comes from the need of coaching every person for their specific fingerprint, right? For their specific case with all the data that we're getting on our health. Like everybody, you guys aren't, but most of the people have like an iWatch and tracking or Oura Ring or anything else, right? Like sheets that measure you.
Garmin. Yeah, there are so many
Underwear.
gadgets.
Totally. And that is amazing. We're going to get more and more, we're going to get to continuous measurement of all our data. And that's extremely important to do, not like just the annual check. Because with the annual check is if I take a picture of you once a year and then I tell your life out of that one photo that I take.
I like
You
your
know?
examples. I like
Then-
it. So good. You're so good.
But if I see a movie about you, right, then I get to see so much more about you, right? So that's the same thing for biometrics. And we're going to get to that point where everything is going to be continuous. We're going to have the full movie of ourselves. But then what do we do? What do we do? So our co-founder is Andy Walsh, and he was human performance for Red Bull. He was the strategist for the Stratos, the guy that jumped from the stratosphere, and for the DoD, which is the Department of Defense, and in human performance. His coaching is through the roof. It's extremely scientific, but it's also very holistic. And we joke and we said we want to put Andy in everybody's pocket because the way that he can work your data to optimize you is fantastic. Not only because of the data you have, but he considers your lifestyle. You're saying, hey, I don't sleep. There's no way. But if I give you 5 levers, right? And I said, okay, you adjust the sleep here. Where do I lock the other 4 so that you are forced to increase? What can you increase based on your lifestyle that's going to compensate here? So what's the best combination to optimize your health based on your data, on your lifestyle? But if you think about it, not even doctors can really make the whole.
No.
They can't.
No.
So how do we really aggregate all your information, right? And give you what to do, the coaching, right? That's really, truly going to optimize you. That's Gemela. We are very excited. The team is incredible. We're going to be stacking a set of technologies that are mind-blowing. Of course, there's going to be AI, but also new biomarkers, microbiome. We're working with a guy that's building the most amazing microbiome bank. Human microbiome bank.
The people, it's an app, if I understand, right? This would be an app on your phone. So you have to be proactive and go in there and you have to actually get your blood works done.
Yes. But we're also working with a way to do it at home. It's a kit that you get at home on an ongoing basis, consistently, so we can get as many photos of you.
So it takes a responsibility from someone to be on this journey with your life and then take it in your...
Julia, you said the twin, like your twin self?
Because
it's a twin,
digital twin.
One of the technologies is called digital twin. And what it does is that we make you in your app. So we replicate everything. All your information is going to allow
your
us to
organs as well.
everything.
Your DNA, your muscles, your blood, whatever.
So you
genetics.
create, exactly.
And where does the name come from?
Ella is a female twin in Spanish.
You guys, everybody, I'm the only one who didn't understand. Everybody, nobody wants to ask this question.
You don't know?
I'm trying to learn Spanish, of course, in Miami, but it takes time.
It takes time. But Gemela, it's your female digital twin, and it's female because it's more nurturing, or by nature, more nurturing, more caring. So she's the one that's going to take care of you.
Yes. Very nice.
I wanted to hear from you. How can people find you? And I think we didn't touch so much on that subject where you can help them get all the journey that they've had so far, and they can use all the skills that they've created and built throughout their lives to use those skills for a new project or a new job. So there are 2 questions actually. And how can you help women, the audience, who is mostly women that are listening to us, and how can they find you?
They can find me via my website. You can send me an email through there. My headquarters.club, and everything is in there. What I do is that I have a consultant firm, and I also help teams unlock innovation mindset, which works for women. What we were saying is and I have a consulting firm of communication strategies and how to grow your newsletters and a whole bunch of different stuff.
How do you think you could help her with your consulting?
Right now, my consulting is mostly focused on outreach and newsletter building. I have a system let's say you guys say, okay, we have our podcast, and it would really help us to have a newsletter where we send a follow-up of the podcast or invite people to the podcast to read and our notes, and we want to reach 100,000 people to 150,000 people in a year. That's the system that I built without social media, because people think, I'm going to have to start putting lead magnets in social media for people to subscribe. We build it independently of that. Women that have book deals, for example, come to us a lot. They're these incredible women. They get an offer to write a book, but they don't have a following. Very common. And they don't have the time, the personality. Not everybody has the personality to go dancing on social media, whatever. Right? I know. It takes a team.
TikTok.
It takes a team to do it.
They always told us go to TikTok, and we still don't have an account and can't do it. It's just wrong.
I know.
Can't. I'm 50.
I'm not their demographics.
There's so many 50-year-old women that would watch you, but It's a personality, it takes a team, to be honest.
Yeah.
It takes a consistency that kills anybody and burns out
Can be a full-time job.
everybody. It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job. We don't say it enough. It's sometimes even more valuable than social media because people are reading you. You can prove, right, your open rates, your click rates.
But what are the 3 keys takeaway that you would share with women, a new generation, that how they can start this genius that it's inside and brewing and they just want to
Is it
get out?
like Julia's first asked, is it too late to start again?
It's never too late,
It's never.
I would say.
Now I'm going to ask this. There's going to be a time it's going to be too late.
No.
Never too late.
I'm
think so.
75. Can you say it's too late?
One of our advisors is 75. She's at the top of her game. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. She's a laser.
Imagine the wisdom, the experience, the life knowledge.
I a little bit ask about the health-wise, like cutting the gluten, cutting the alcohol, reinventing yourself, not as in what you do, as in a health perspective. Is it too late to start? Yes, everybody says no, but I think there should be a time limit.
Depends on
No,
Really, Beza?
I mean,
It's game over? I don't
no,
know.
I'm 50. It's for me, it's not game over. No, I'm talking about, I want to know if there's a deadline. Yeah.
Like if I grab a knife
Yes.
and I pinch your finger and you bleed, you're going to heal.
See, I told you I love your
biology.
example. This is an amazing. Okay.
If I do it to my dad that's 88, he's going to heal too.
slower,
Entire
maybe.
biology,
Yeah.
biology, it lives and function around healing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
never too late.
Shoot, I don't
It's
have
our
a deadline.
nature. Yes.
So, the 3 things. 3 do with you away as a goodbye gift.
I love quoting this woman that I met once, Mary Forleo, and she says, she stole it from me, I'm sure. But she coined everything is figuratable and created this word. So the first one would be everything is a task or 2 away. Don't let doubt, imposter syndrome, crap stop you. You will figure it out. Most important is always ask, how much do I want it, really? Because that's going to be your mode for motivation. That would be 2. And then the third one is that you're never starting from 0. This is the typical woman that their kids went out of high school, went to college, and they're like, I feel like I have no life. I need to start all over. What do I do? Start. You're coming with full of wisdom and lenses that nobody else are going to have. You're unique in your point of view. And there's always people that will love what you do. I had a student that she was so anxious if she didn't have enough taste to succeed in fashion. And I said, okay, let's go to the square in Union Square and see how many people with bad taste are walking around. They bought clothing for people with bad taste. And it's not bad taste for them.
Yeah,
Might be
exactly.
bad taste for me. It doesn't matter. Just get out and do it. Just get out and do it. Consistency beats everything. When you want it and you're consistent at it, that's it.
See, we came
Yeah.
to the same
I like it.
sentence again.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Do it.
Swimming.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's so much fun. I want to hang out with you guys.
Thank you so much for coming. We loved having you here.
Don't start over. Starting older. Kept years, kept scars, kept lessons. Not late, not lost, nothing